Hey there again, YouTube. After the morning's rant, I decided to try and do something a little bit more frivolous. This review is actually going to be dedicated to Gerard, Wolfkang1, whose channel you will find floating around here. Gerard has been in consistent contact with me of late and has provided a lot of help and good advice and support through what has been a rather difficult period for me. So many thanks to him for that. I would seriously advise you going to check out his channel, by the way. Gerard does, he doesn't just do Transformer and toy reviews, he also does movie reviews, philosophical and ideological videos, general discussion, music, all manner of things. There's something to cater to almost every taste on Gerard's channel, really. And he was very kind of him. He actually gave me a Transformer during this period. It's a Transformer I've wanted for a very long time, actually, but I've never managed to get a hold of because it's always rather expensive. It's a Generation 1 Transformer, and one that most people want because of the nature of the character. Funnily enough, I reviewed a version of it for my very first Transformers review, so it's kind of nice to come back to the character. I'm referring to this chappie. This is Generation 1 Cyclonus, a Transformer who came out in the post-movie period. Now, most of the post-movie Transformers, their quality varies. Some of them are wonderful, some of them suck ass. Wheelie, for example. This guy is definitely one of the better examples. He was, along with his partner Scourge, he was one of the additions, sort of a nominal addition to the Seeker line, along the same line that Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywar, Thrust, Dirge and Ramjet belong to. Now those moulds I actually dislike. Apart from their nostalgic value, I really dislike them. I dislike them because they cheat as Transformers. They're part formers. You take them apart and put them back together in the appropriate mode, and usually that doesn't do it for me. There are too many detachable parts. They're basically unplayable in robot mode. They're wonderful to own. It's very nice to own them because obviously they have a nostalgia factor, but that's as far as it goes with them for me. This guy is just a huge update of the concept of a Seeker. The mold does away with all of the problems that the original Seeker mold has. You know what? I'm very surprised that Hasbro didn't recolor this in every conceivable paint job you can think of, and market it as different characters. I would have done it if I was the head of Hasbro or involved in marketing in any particular way. I would have definitely done that. Cyclonus is one of those characters. He was made iconic by the cartoon more than anything else. He did occur in the other continuities, like the UK comic and whatnot, but he was never... But though I generally love the UK comics, I think they are really good Transformers stories. The one thing I lament about them is the portrayal of Cyclonus and Scourge. Cyclonus and Scourge are idiots in the UK timeline. They are grade A morons. Very powerful because they're Unicronian Transformers. They're refashioned from the bits of dead Transformers by Unicron, the planet-devouring nemesis of all life and reality, basically. So they can draw on incredible wells of power, just like their master Galvatron. But in the UK comics, they attempted to neuter them to a certain degree so that they weren't overpowering by making them stupid. And Cyclonus seems to be even more stupid than Scourge, if anything. He ends up getting himself killed ultimately by bafflingly confessing to Shockwave that he along with Scourge and the bounty hunter Death's Head are responsible for murdering him in the future. There's a lot of time travelling nonsense that goes on in the UK comics as well, and for reasons that are best left unexplored, Cyclonus and Scourge end up back in, I think it's 1986 or something like that. It's far too complicated to go into. But as a result of that, Cyclonus is murdered. And his death, because he dies outside of his timeline, it initiates this vast apocalypse, basically, in which all time and reality is tearing itself apart. It's called the Time Wars line. It's actually rather good. It's one of the better UK stories. And that's it for him in the comics. He deserves to die, basically. He's an absolute idiot, and I was rather happy to see him go. In the cartoons, he was although the post-movie cartoons are generally lamentable in most respects. There are certain aspects of them that I really like, and Cyclonus is one of them. Cyclonus is not stupid in the cartoon. He is not stupid. He's just narrow-minded. He is obsessively loyal to Galvatron. Obsessively loyal. And to the Decepticon cause, to the point whereby he does everything in his power to rationalise away all of his leader's faults. And Galvatron has many faults in the cartoon. He's a lunatic, an absolute lunatic. And it's a shame, because Cyclonus would definitely, if he could just put down his obsessive loyalty, he could quite likely lead the Decepticons quite efficiently. In fact, under Cyclonus's leadership, I have no doubt that they would have easily taken the Rodimus Prime-led Autobots. Unfortunately, he never got the chance. He also appears in the IDW comics. He is a very different character in that as well. He's not a Decepticon, for one thing. Not a Decepticon or an Autobot. He is a Cybertronian. He is an ancient Transformer from the days before there even were factions. Part of an exploration team along with Galvatron and Jaihaxus and Nova Prime, who set off from Cybertron to explore strange new worlds and that sort of thing, but ended up being sucked into a vortex, into another dimension where they were turned into undead zombie Transformers and so on and so forth. What's interesting about Cyclonus in that continuity is that he is a patriot. He's a Cybertronian patriot. He fully supports the notion of a universe led by the Cybertronian Empire, and actually despises the descendants of the original Cybertronians, the Autobots and the Decepticons, for what they've done to Cybertron. He hates their war, and wants to see it ended. He also has various conflicting parts of his personality. He portrays himself as this ordered and rational, almost Shockwave-like intellectual, but underneath is this simmering psychosis, this animalistic side that erupts at the most inappropriate times. So yeah, kind of a very interesting character in almost all of the continuities in which he features. Now the toy, well, just look at it. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a Cybertronian jet bomber of some sort. The colours are essentially Decepticon. Purple, red, silver. Very, very Decepticon indeed. And you know, for a jet from this era, his kibble is minimal. He does have a little bit of undercarriage kibble in the form of the legs there, but you expect that from the Transformers of this era. All the jets from this era have got that, apart from Scourge. But you know, from a kid's perspective, from a play perspective, it's actually quite good, because it means you can actually grasp the kibble and use it to sort of play with the toy, which is wonderful. But the general design is superb. It's unique amongst the Transformers. Full stop. There aren't many jets that are really like this. This huge long nose cone and this sleekness, which I love. If I could lay my hands on my classic Cyclonus, I would compare them. It's here somewhere, but I can't find it, I'm afraid. It is here somewhere. And if I could unearth it, I would compare them. What's interesting about the classics and the original Cyclonus is that the jets have a very, very different aesthetic. The classics jet is big and bulky. It's still very much Cyclonus, but it's bulkier and much more intimidating looking. This is sleek and rather elegant, which I like.